Adriano.
I have a topic, and my topic is how music influences you. I mean, what effect has music on you?
Okay, first one. Second topic. Thank you.
Okay, I got it anyways. Is it good or bad?
Can I have a letter of your sign because I have
Nice
other
of
or
course. Oh, nice.
so okay.
Letter.
Yeah. Egoist. Good or bad? So yes, John. It can be a good philosophical argument.
Yeah.
Dlaczego raczej jest coś, stoi tam Okay. Why there is rather something than nothing. It's like one of all the philosophical questions.
Okay, do you want to play it as an argument?
No, it is.
So,
Just is.
Who have another argument?
Do we have the right to
Give me your name.
Neil.
Neil.
Do we have the right to take photographs or otherwise record anybody?
Okay, try to shorten.
Do we have
Because after you have to explain your argument, so now it is you just give us the title.
I don't have an argument. I like taking photographs, but when I'm out, I feel awkward about taking photographs of people. This morning somebody was in my hostel, took a photograph without asking me, pointing straight at me and taking a photograph of the whole hostel. And I felt uncomfortable. I found that interesting subject that he had the right to. That isn't just that it was, I got it with you, is that all? Is it just that much of manners?
I think that this is a topic, but we just need a brief title, and after.
I just wanted to ask if it includes.
No, wait a moment, excuse me. Do you want to give us a title for that?
I don't have one, but if someone wants to propose one.
Okay. Do somebody want to propose a title for this argument?
That's what I wanted to say, and ask if it includes using the picture. I mean, only
This is
taking
a title
the picture.
for that argument.
This is including if it's. I mean,
Well, now we need a title for this argument. After we move
but
on.
to define a title, you need to know what is inside of it.
You already told it.
But I was asking if it includes this or not, and after I can decide of a title of it.
I don't know, because it's something to be explored, I guess. You could do. I think that's going to be an essential part of it. So I suppose the question is, do we have any rights over... Does privacy exist? Does photographic privacy exist? Does that make sense?
Okay, so tell me what's I will write down.
Does photographic privacy exist?
You don't have to know it, we discuss it. Thank you. And other issues, other items, other topics.
Well, the topics may arise as we discuss. I think it's quite difficult to sit in front of everybody not knowing each other, most of the people, and saying, and so maybe we've been 3 or 4 now, don't we?
Yeah, okay. Just the thing.
Yeah.
We never discussed about rules. If I ask you a topic, you can give a topic or not give a topic.
Yes.
But if everybody starts to say, yeah, but you know, I think we can change the rules in that and that
I
way,
never said that.
we never go anyway, okay?
I never said that.
Thank you
In
for
fact.
that. So do you have a topic?
I don't.
Perfect. Do somebody else have a topic?
I have one, but I don't know how to formulate it. How to put it in.
Well, you can try to do the same thing that Neil have done. So you try to explain, and after we find the title, or you'll find the title for yourself, or somebody else will find for you. Why not?
I would like to talk about how to say about minorities, either disabled, gypsies, or how do we treat them and how different they are. And I was talking with Ola just before about a village that 90% are only disabled, and she was saying, "Ooh, that must be scary." Like, why? I don't know. What is your opinion about minorities, disabled, and all that stuff? But I don't know how to put it in.
Minority is the topic and we know that.
You take minority as a title?
Okay.
Minority.
Yeah.
Do somebody else have something? Yes. Do you have a topic for us? Okay. Sarcasm. Why not? Yeah, why not? It's just a game we're playing, so why not? And Karina, I really know you have a topic for us.
No, I haven't
Dove c'è la telecamera?
First impression.
The importance of the
Okay, I say it. Okay. The topic is the first impression.
First impression.
Why not? First impression.
Very nice.
And we must alive.
The question, not like we discuss all the topics that are suggested.
No, we will vote one.
Okay, only one per meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
You will just vote. Cash. Okay. You're evil.
Another.
After you will have to defend all your topics, you know?
I can defend all
Okay.
the topics. How do others influence us, and if it's possible, or can we live without others?
Okay. It's a quite long title. Let's try to do it a little bit more.
Okay. How others influence us? How others influence us?
How others?
Or I don't know if anybody has a better title.
I think it's good.
Go ahead.
He's not convinced of his title, so if
I was asking. I don't know how.
you have another proposal, maybe you will be happy.
Okay, you want to talk about how we are determined by others,
Yeah.
how we become ourselves. because of others.
Nie wiem.
Yeah, what is
You
the
are-
influence
you
of the
are-
others in us, in our personality and in everything that we do. And like those people, for example, that are meditating in the middle of the mountain alone, how do they live, or are they who they are? I don't know.
Yeah.
Others than us.
Others than us.
Others.
It's even a good title for a movie. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Normally we stop at 10, so still another couple if you want. And after we start defending our item. Look like somebody that
I can't like her.
Do you have some arguments for us? Come on. Michał. Radicalism. After you will have to defend. Now, radicalism is not. Jeszcze jeden. It's just one. I have not. My you? No, as I already told you, the job of a philosopher is exactly not to know. So it's unprofessional to do something for me.
Głośno. Nie.
Normally, when somebody comes to Philosophical Café, there is two kinds of people. The first one, he thinks that he already knows what is good to discuss about. And the second one really would like to discuss about something, but he thinks that nobody will want to discuss about the same thing, so he don't even try. And so why not? If somebody of you have some item to discuss and you want to discuss it, propose it. And you know, the most incredible ideas after we win in the election. Believe me. Try something incredible that you really would like to discuss.
Addiction.
Addiction. Okay, now to be really fast, but even to have an idea to how to refer to each other, we will do a little turn just in order to say name and nationality, nothing else. Just know who we are. Guido, Italy. Juliana.
Adrian,
Vito, Italy.
Well, we have for the first one we have Adrian that will defend how music influences you. You will have just to after. Yeah, you can even vote everything. No problem. We are an open democracy. You can vote for everybody, like everybody, and love everybody. It's philosophy, it's not politics. So, in a couple of minutes, because after, of course, we will need even the others defend their items, you will have to explain to us why you want to discuss this precise item. Once again, the title of your first item is How Music Influences You.
So, quick explanation. I studied music, and I really want like in the future to work as a music therapist, and I'm very interested how music and therapy with music and is influencing you, and how can it cure you or not cure you or change you or everything. And I wanted to know your opinion on that because it will help me as well to, I don't know my future job eventually. And I worked here in Wrocław in Ostoja. It's a center for disabled people, and I was doing exactly music therapy. It was an amazing experience. So I want to know you how music influences you, how you are.
Okay, second item is from Ola. Egoism, good or bad? Why you ask that?
So, many people think that egoism is something very bad and that we should be ashamed of being egoistic, but I think that it's natural and that there is good egoism, and I want to discuss about whether it is true or not. Whether it is good or bad. Should I specify what?
If you want, you still have at least 1 minute.
No,
I'm really
okay. That's all.
Neil, does photographic privacy exist?
Yeah, because do we have a right to photographic privacy? In the modern world, this is something that's growing more and more. I bet everyone here has got a phone. I'm willing to bet at least 90% of those phones have cameras on. We can all take photographs. We can all share this information. Does someone have a right to take a photograph of me or of anyone here? Does it matter what space we're in? Is it different than the culture? Is it different if you're in China, for instance, where we have a smaller sense of privacy? Does happiness create a this? Obviously, it might not be, you would argue ethically, but if it makes you unhappy if someone takes a photo, you have a right to say, you should delete that because you've made me unhappy by doing it. How about cultures, for instance, where you have people who they feel like you've stolen their soul? Now you can scientifically perhaps prove that that's the case, but you're diminishing their level of happiness. They feel like you're taking from them. Does it matter what it's for? Whether it's for art or journalism, or I don't know if you've heard of sites like 9gag where people post things up to use it as ridicule. You must have seen these memes where you can, by taking a photograph of someone with a camera phone, someone is open to ridicule. There are certain things that a government will prohibit you from photographing. In Greece, some British plane spotters took, I think they took photographs of planes and they were arrested. You can't take photographs of borders, so not a wise thing to do. So it's that whole thing, should we be able, is it okay to take photographs? Should we have the right to take photographs? Or should we be able to defend ourselves and create a space around us that may not photograph what we're told?
Thank you so much. And Adrian, once again, minority. Explain to us why you want to talk about minority, in which sense you intend minority.
Again, a bit connected to my previous volunteer job here, connected to disabled, and also like, I don't know, for example, about elderly people, how does it change? In Portugal, for example, nobody stands up on the bus if an old person stands up. Here it's normal. And how do we treat gypsies in different cultures, for example, and how do we accept difference? So, I don't know if I was clear enough, but that's what my point.
Ingrid, sarcasm.
The idea came because we just had a little discussion and Neil was to see that I understood sarcasm and I was thinking, well, her it was a surprise, a good surprise. So I was thinking, what kind of communication are you trying to achieve if you are not expecting somebody to understand sarcasm? What does it say about the form of communication? And is it right to use sarcasm if you're not sure that the other person will understand?
So it's even about communication.
It is about communication. Sarcasm.
Gianmarco, first impression.
How much you think the first impression that you got with somebody else. working place and social life. And yeah, if you think that there is a second chance, the first impressions, if you think that it is also possible to revert somewhere the first impression which you caused for somebody else. Yeah. So, pretty much the inspiration came from here because these people are meeting each other for the first time.
Okay, Pavel, do we must lie?
No, the reason is simple. When you look at me or the question in your eyes, Pavel, please say something. But what about the discussion? So every day we must lie, I think. In a relationship, in a work, the question is, how big is this lie? If so, for example, if you say nothing, is it a lie or not? For example, don't explain it if you know what I mean. To avoid the truth, yes, sometimes to live better, to live easier, yes, sometimes we must lie. So, what does it mean for you? How many times you must lie? How many times you try to not do that? Because it will live better, but sometimes maybe more important is for you to live than the lie. Something like that.
Adrian, third time, Others and Us, the movie.
Well, basically, it's like how important are the others to shape ourselves, and I don't know. I've changed country sometimes, and every time I have to make a new group of friends, a new group of people, and how does it influence me, and how the different people you meet are influencing your personality, and as well there are people that live without anybody in their surroundings, and how is it possible, or are they happy, or do we really need others to live, to be us?
Michał, radicalism.
Radicalism in general is a phenomenon. It's positive or negative to become radical, and we are addicted to become radical because we are older in the cycle of our life. I think yes, we are addicted to the radicalism because everything was positive and become after our radicalism are positive or negative phenomena.
Vito, addiction.
You know, we live in a society that makes us addicted to everything. I don't know.
You have an addiction to reality.
Yeah. And so this was my topic because I think it should be interesting to eviscerate it.
Okay, normally at this moment we take a brief pause, really brief, something like 10 minutes, and after we vote and we discuss one of those topics. So, only one. You can vote for even. Yeah.
Are we voting for ourselves, or we don't vote for our topic?
Like you prefer. If you want to vote for yourself,
I will vote.
come on. It's just, you know, after all, we have to choose one. That's for sure. But now we have a 10 minutes break, mainly because I have to take another tea. And after we'll be back.
To się już wstrzymałem.
Very 10 minutes, no.
Organizować wokół tej kamery zaczęły. No, ja wiem.
Ciao.
Teraz wszyscy jak dzieci, nie? O, kamera!
No.
So, just for beginning, we will have now to vote for which argument we want to talk about. The first argument, you can even vote for every argument, you just do whatever you want. First one. How music
żeby zobaczyłaś.
influences
Wiedziałam, co
you?
chciałaś.
Raise your hands.
A co?
Okay.
About what topic?
Music. Paweł. For. Okay. Ora K. Egoism, good or bad?
Nie,
Okay. Neil, does photographic privacy exist? 5, 6, 7, 8. Paweł? Adrian, minority. Who wants to talk about minority?
There's one more.
Sarcasm. We want to discuss about sarcasm. We have
Not being sarcastic.
2, 3, and 4. Why not? We want to discuss about first impression.
Nice.
First impression. Raz, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We want to discuss about do we must lie? Do we must lie? Hola. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Adrian, other and us. Other and us.
They are voting for everything.
Radicalism. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Addiction.
No.
Okay, we have 2 items that have the maximum of votes. How music influences you and first impression. I know. The winner is, with 12 votes, minority. This is quite a paradox that minority is a minority. But well, Adrian proposed minority, so Adrian will have to start the topic. I will remind you the rules exactly for new people and stuff. It's very, very simple. Just everybody can speak when he wants, but he have to book the turn, okay? So if you want to say something, you raise your hand, I look at you and I note your name, and after it will be your turn. So, don't try to answer to people that are speaking, because I will stop you, okay? Because otherwise, 2 people just start to discuss together and the others can go for a beer because they don't participate, okay? So you will have to keep in your mind everything you want to say, and when it will be your turn, you will have to answer to everybody, okay? Is it clear for everybody? And I will be very strict, So after don't hate me, I tell you before, because of course if I am not strict, after we will not be able to speak to each other because we are something like 30 people now, 25. It was 25 chairs, so I think yeah, about 25 people, something like that. So of course if everybody say everything, it's just a mess. And so, if it's clear for everybody, thank you.
Okay, thank you for choosing me. And I wanted to talk how our perception changes, like from country to country, also from person to person, regarding different types of minorities, racial minorities. I don't know, because of color or skin or your ethnicity, or if you are disabled or not. I know from different countries where I've been to, especially from Portugal and now Poland, and how do we have the right to ignore them or to accept them, and how do we react if we see a black person here on the street, and I don't know, gypsies that everybody says that they only steal and they are only begging. We have the right to say that? We really understand what they are going through? I don't know, but I want to know your opinion about all of those questions.
Okay, so I think that the basic problem when it comes to not accepting others is that we don't understand what they feel, we don't understand their cultures, their problems, and because of the fact that we don't try to understand them, it's easier for us to criticize them.
Sometimes it's because of prejudice, but prejudice is sometimes necessary when we have to decide about something, about, for example, taking care of, for example, your wallet more. About gypsies now. Sometimes it's just a second. You see gypsies, they're behaving like they used to do. Usually do. Those I'm talking about the stereotypical behavior. Then you are becoming scared of your things, and you are more careful about your wallet, for example. Sometimes it's useful.
When you raise your hand, please call me if I don't see you. Okay. So it was Kasia. Kasia, give me a letter from your
M.
And after it was Adrian. And after Arek.
Okay, thank you. I do agree that one part of your topic is discrimination, stereotypes, which is inevitably connected with minorities, yes. What about people who are minorities and we think they are better? And we sort of automatically, without even knowing who they are and what they do, what about this group that we want to be like them and we automatically treat them better than other people, so to say. It's especially true when you think about nationalities as well. Like if, let's say in Poland, if somebody comes from the eastern part, we are thinking like, okay, they are maybe not as good. On the other hand, if somebody comes from the western part of Europe here, we automatically sort of grade them higher, which is not fair either, because you get, good and bad people everywhere, not only in one place. So you can actually get anybody. I think this is also like an important part of minorities, what you said. What do you think about that? Does it exist? Do we actually grade people like that, or are we trying to think of the real value of a person?
Okay, I didn't think about that one when I was saying minority, but it's definitely interesting. that I really wanted to answer to her. If we can generalize like the whole ethnic group or the whole minority that we are speaking about by something that happened like once to you or to a friend of you. I don't know, if you were robbed and the person looked like a gypsy, then you can say, yeah, gypsies, they don't do anything the whole day, or they're just begging, they're just stealing. And I also think the media has a lot to do with it, because we see all the time gypsies do this, and you never saw really a documentary saying how great their music is, or I don't know, a story of somebody that has nothing and goes, I don't know, and gypsies are nice to them, or even talking about other minorities. So I think it has to do a lot with the experiences that you had, and I think, yeah, as I said, mass media has a lot to do with that.
Café?
And
I'm next?
he was next.
Yes, but I will keep you talking.
Of course.
So I just wanted to add something to this gypsy situation, because wherever I go, if we have this kind of, I don't know, space, time to discuss something about minorities, but often we pick up this topic of gypsies. For me, it looks like we don't really have any other minorities, especially the same Poland or, I don't know, Czech Republic that I used to live, and so on. So the first thing that comes to your mind is, okay, there are gypsies. And of course they are there. But let's say in my case, maybe I have one thing that I wasn't very happy, you know, with the relationship with gypsies. Yes? Once it happened, so say in Czech Republic, that I was just stupid to give them money and get some perfumes back. Yes? But anyway, that was my story. They were amazing people. Really, I love to make a deal with them, and I would say, if you are so good as a dealer, okay, you get this money. And I didn't have experience of stealing or of them getting into my house or into my friends' houses. Yes? So in my opinion, it's more stereotypical thing with the gypsies, and we are just lazy to look around to see and notice other minorities. So we always pick up those who are a bit different than us, gypsies.
Paula.
Okay, so like basically you are talking about tolerance. Yes, that we should tolerate gypsies and different people.
I didn't say what about tolerance.
Okay, but I think that we should tolerate them and give them rights and stuff and treat them as like equal. But on the other hand, I don't think that minorities should like take our rights. Because, for example, a good example is in Denmark. There was a city and Muslim minority was in majority. And Muslim minority voted that Christmas should be banned. And I mean,
Muslims?
yes. And
You were majority or minority?
like Muslim majority became majority in this particular town. And so Danish government decided to give them rights that okay, they should have their Muslim celebrations and stuff, but they overused it, I think. And do you think that minority rights should be kind of reduced to the level to which they don't interfere our rights? Majority, you know what I mean? Do you think it's right to give them too many rights?
I think nothing. Pavel.
That's a good question. Yes, I think. Well, that's a hard idea, because we think that we should give the rights to the minority because they are minority, we are so good and so on. Yes, they should have rights. But the problem is that sometimes they don't think like we do, and that's the problem. But I don't know how it's solved. I don't know. But this is like it is. And the gypsies is my very favorite topic. So, okay, I know that in general we should love people, hang them and so on. I'm really think like that. Yes, we don't should think about someone that he's worse or better because he came from the other country. It's normal. But it is a general. When we talking about the general, it's okay. But when you're coming face to face with the specific situation, sometimes you have a problem. Yes, I know the person who lives with the gypsies, and he has a really big problem with that because they are completely uncivilized. They can leave a sheet under your door and it's okay for them. They can crash the window and so on. It's horrible. It's really horrible to live in this place. Yes? So this is the problem. In general, I know the idea. I know how it should be. But when you live with them, sometimes you can't discuss with them. You just can't do that. So how to solve it? I have no idea.
Yes, what I wanted to address is something that Adrian said.
Excuse me just a moment.
Yes?
I already have you in the list. You want to be another word, another time?
No, I thought it was Mia.
No. It's Kasia, Paulina, Adrian.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so about the TV being a means of spreading prejudice and racism, really, maybe in some cases. I think the problem is that TV reporters, journalists, when they report a crime, they actually give nationality of a person who did it. So if you hear like twice in a row that a Romanian, Italian, Polish person did something in in specific country, then you think that all of them are like this, which might be totally false, because you get like 2 or 3 idiots who do something wrong, and then you judge all the other people like this, which I think is not fair. So I think yes, TV has a fundamental role in doing that, in spreading the bad name of a nation, which is not okay. It's just enough to say that a man in his 30s did this and that. Nationality has nothing to do with it, I think. I didn't want to say that we shouldn't be tolerant, because we should be, but I wanted to say that we shouldn't be naive. And as Paweł said, we can have problems with them, with those minorities, like being neighbors, because a lot of gypsies live here. Have you ever been to main bus station in Wrocław? Yeah. So sometimes even police have to come to, because they are so, I don't know, they are attacking you. Give me money. They are sending their children to make you give them money. I do not deny that they're having beautiful music and so on, but there are sometimes you can feel their culture. I don't say that they are all like this, but sometimes you can feel their culture from the other side. Not only music, but also, like Paweł said, being not a good neighbor. I didn't want to say that not to be tolerant towards them, but sometimes it's better to be more careful.
Arek.
It's always good to be careful. That's the first thing. Second to what you said, it's the issue. In democracy there are 2 basic rules. One is, let's say, a majority has a winning vote, but on the other hand, we have to protect minorities. Yes? So there is always this combination, there always should be a balance. And when you look at the countries, I believe that the more democratic country has more, how to say so? For sure, the diversity as well, but those minorities' rights, they are there and they are kind of secured. Of course, sometimes we have the very strange issue that Muslims may vote against having Christmas tree or Christmas time, some of them. But then, again, it's majority, minority, and we have to always combine, we have to always be careful about this. Yeah, I wanted to come back to this, your first thing about Western Europeans coming to save Poland and so on, because that's a very interesting issue. For instance, again, living in Czech Republic, I went to a disco and I introduced myself as Irish and my friend was British and we were Polish. And those Czech girls, they were just screaming around and running around, you know, Irish English, just amazing guys. And we are just speaking, you know, this broken English. that's how it sometimes may be, and unfortunately, this is the life, and I would say, if you can benefit out of this, Go for it.
Adrian.
Okay, I have a lot to comment. I will try to read. First, I don't think it's to answer her. It's an easy thing that you can do from night to day, and it's a problem that has been going for too long. So they also, I mean, they feel pressured by us, and they also learn how to explore us in a way. I mean, they're living in a different country, and they learn how to beg and how to take. I mean, it's something that has been on for a long time, and I don't say that we are better or they are better, or it's our fault or it's their fault. It's something that has to be done in common, and I've worked with gypsies, with homeless, with everything, and I think there's a lack of knowledge and of experience from people, and I don't know, there's tons of projects from the European Union, and they are for free, and you can go and work with them, and they are completely empty because people don't go there. And I wonder sometimes why, and I think there's a need from the parents, from the school, to tell about those projects, for example, and to be more interaction between all of those communities and all of those things, in order to, I don't know, if you would have a neighbor that is gypsy and you are playing with him all the time, and you would have, I think, a different view, a different reason, and to answer him, it's not only gypsies that would destroy things or something. I know many Portuguese and probably Polish as well that do a lot of destruction, and they are just people like us. So you cannot label it was the gypsies that broke your window. Maybe it was, but they are not the only ones, and maybe there was a different reason, or it's also, they also have to be educated. Most of the time, I don't know, for example, in Portugal, all the children have to go to school, and gypsies, they don't have. I disagree with that. I mean, I think if there's a rule and they are in our country, they should as well go to school, and they should be educated the same way. Okay, there's right of freedom and homeschooling and all that stuff, but living in a society implies some rules, and they should also respect our rules, but we should also respect theirs and try to understand them. And yeah, and I want just to leave a small sentence that our freedom starts when the freedom of someone, our freedom ends when the freedom of someone else starts.
I want to say two things. First one, connection to what Paulina said, and about our things when we see gypsies. So there are not only gypsies that steal, but remember them more than Polish people who wrote us, for example. And I think it's dangerous to judge one group of people for the many bad things that happen, like for the broken window, because when we find this group of people to blame for all the bad things, that's the way that conflicts start. They big conflicts, and usually it's because we have some, I don't know whether I'm expressing myself right, it's when there is a group of people that causes all the bad things that happen to us. Maybe not all, but a lot. Do you know what I mean? Okay. And the other thing was about tolerance, that we should tolerate gypsies in Poland, and I think that such a thing like tolerance shouldn't even exist, because they are part of our society, and they will be part of it, whether we want it or not. So we just should live with that, learn to cooperate with them, not tolerate them, because when we tolerate them, then they are something different than us.
Anya.
Talking again about gypsy, when I was a child, I had a really bad situation with one gypsy girl. Well, she stole my earrings, but at the same time, I really tried to tolerate these people that they're gypsy and they want to steal something. And one day, I talked to my student, he's a Korean boy, and talked about gypsies in general. about gypsies who talk about but the first main thing that we should promote, first of all, culture, but not without students things or about something like that. So maybe it's a question of mass media and also our parents. And I want to tell also about these minorities in different countries. As we take example of Paris, where we have discussed people in Paris, sometimes it's really scary to see how this Muslim culture is sharing in this place, and sometimes you feel yourself that French city, like yourself as a kind of Muslim place. When I went and had a coffee in one Muslim district. I was maybe a bit scared, really, maybe. I didn't imagine that I would tolerate these cultures, right? But sometimes I feel that cultures which are coming to another country, they should respect first of all the culture of that country. They shouldn't spread their cultures around. They shouldn't make wars or debates about their culture, their, I don't know how to explain. First of all, they have to respect the culture of the country while they come. If they want to save their culture, they should be why that is they sometimes do.
So, I agree with you about the rules. We should respect the rules. That's obvious. So, we have a minority, majority, gypsies, Polish, German, doesn't matter. The rules are the basic thing. So, if someone stops me, if someone punch me or something like that, he should, I don't know, go to prison or something. It doesn't matter for me if some Polish guy go to France or England and do something stupid, starting to steal or punch with someone. They should go to prison. I don't care about it, yes, because this is the rules which we should respect. And I completely agree with you on this. About this program you said, I don't care about it. So this is a problem because I don't care about it. But there is also a true that we had a program. Situation in these big cities, and if the situation is small cities, for example, in Poland, in a small cities it's much more bigger problem. The police is going to act because there's so many, so they something like they are outside the law. If the law would be respect, the situation would be much more better. So I agree with this. About the friends, not going only to the Paris, try to go around the Paris. The village in France was really French. I was in a small town, village in France. There was no Muslims, no black people, there was no French, so we could see the friends go come from the countryside. But this is nowadays, yes, this is the normal. The big cities are very multicultural. We can stop these changes, but we must learn to live with it. I don't know, having more sex and more children, so maybe the minority will be still the minority in the country. That's all of that.
I just wanted to say that I think that the problem starts in our heads because it's not like there are these like real problems, but the thing is that we start
this is us, this is them. And then we start to perceive these people differently. For example, when we think about disabled people, nowadays there is this approach and they are not really disabled. They are not really disabled because the environment surrounding them, which makes them disabled. We can operate, change the environment in such a way that they are they don't feel their disability. Like they can work in this environment just fine. There isn't a problem. So the problem with gypsies is that they are the ones who want to grow this life because no gypsy will make you like them. Like they don't want you to be like them or something like that. They are very close structure. Like when if we, for example, grew up with them, we wouldn't see this wall separating us. But because they are close and we don't really see inside what's going on there, we tend to grow this thing in our heads. But they are so much different. And for example, when we look at the police or something like this, it's not like gypsies are the only people who make you give them money. For example, when I was living in Poznań, there were so many Polish people who was coming to ask me for dinner, for food, for everything, for money and so on. And there was not even one gypsy who did that. I was living there for 6 years. So I think that the thing is that we remember these situations that concern gypsies more because we see them as different so much and they are not us. So every time we see they are doing something, you said so also that because we see the nationality, we tend to get this stereotype built in our heads.
Arek.
First, you had a couple of very nice arguments. The issue of environment of people. There is really something in it. And I would say when you once in this field, let's say in the environment that is really keeping you down, it's very difficult to get up, yes. In my experience, I was in England. I remember I was in metro, and one guy, a drunk British guy, is coming to me and he's saying, "You are Polish." You have a Polish face, yes? And really, I didn't feel well, in that moment. And I was coming, let's say, to England with all those stereotypes, with all this, let's say, backpack of shit, yes? As a Polish guy, they can see you as one who can just dishwash, yes, one who can just steal, one who is just worthless, and cannot really keep up in the country, so must go away and somehow manage to live in the country like England. Yes. Once I remember I was doing some shopping in Sainsbury, I guess. One old guy, he's a security guard, he's coming to me and he says, "Where are you from?" "Poland." "You should go home." "Why?" "Because there is no money for you anymore." There was a big crisis, yes. And it's really, when you live in this kind of environment, it's so difficult, let's say, to cope with yourself, even if you are just Polish. Meaning, like a normal person, well educated, yes, from Europe, part of the European Union, yes. There shouldn't be anything like this. So it was once, I had something to say. For instance, and we don't really have problems only with gypsies, yes, when we talk about, let's say, lower classes of the society and so on. There is a very interesting issue. For instance, those guys who take these social housings, yes, those who live in really shit places, and we get extra money from our wallets, yes, to keep together, and from the municipality we pay for new buildings, new houses for those guys. But what happens afterwards? After 1 year, after a couple of months, when you come to the same place, to the new house, after 6 months, not new anymore. Yes? It's at least as bad as the one that was there before. That they take those guys from away and put in the house. There is something about environment, changing of the mindset and really communication. As you said, if you grow up with guys from the same culture, from different culture, it's somehow wrong that they are gypsies and we Polish, but we play football together. But if they play, I don't know, bridge and we play football, and after so many years, yes, we try to play together something, it doesn't work for us. Paulina.
Yeah, a lot of people play here mass media, but I wanted to say that stealing, like for example, when we hear gypsy, we think about stealing. Stealing is not a big thing, so at news we won't hear about stealing. For example, some gypsies have stolen a bike. We won't hear it because it's too small a thing. But so I cannot hear a lot about gypsies. But I can see a lot of festivals, musical festivals, gypsies. So I know that from mass media about gypsies. But when they are coming, they having not having their own country. So when they are coming to, for example, Poland, they have chosen Poland to live here. So they should respect our law. Also respect our culture. You told about cooperation, about education, cooperation. But yes, well, that's a good idea. We should cooperate, we should educate them, but they don't want to. I know that it's good to make those projects and so on. They really need to do that. But about education, a lot of gypsies, they stop at elementary school. They decided to stop. At my university, I know a lot of Ukrainian people from Belarus, from other countries. I don't know any gypsy, but a lot of gypsies live here. So they just decide to be closed and make their own society within our society. So it's not that easy.
Yeah, okay. Kasia.
I was just going to say more or less the same what you said, that I also heard some actually nice stuff about gypsies in mass media lately. So I think it's likely starting to change. And like for example, before Christmas I saw all different about how gypsies spending the Christmas time and what kind of songs do they sing and so on. It was like really nice program about them. And the same was about the Easter time and in the 1st of November how they spend the time at the cemeteries with their families and so on. And I remember from my childhood that I always would see like a lot of gypsies in the cemeteries on the 1st of November. And I was always so like kind of jealous because they had like fantastic culture, like they were singing together with all the families, and I was always so curious about that. And my family was always saying all the nice stuff about them, like their culture is like really rich and they are very close to each other, all of them. So I actually think everything starts like it's not exactly the media's fault or I don't know, like it depends in with who are we around and what we hear from other people, because otherwise I've never had any bad experience with them, and I always was so curious about them, and I saw nice programs about them. So I don't know, I think everything is changing, but we don't want to see the changes. Like a lot of people like from I heard that, yeah, well, we heard a lot of bad stuff about gypsies, so we think they're bad. But so I have a different opinion about that.
clear they're supposed to change or their differences is bad here. I think it's really good to be different, but the point is to put your differentness in the reality where you live, in the society where you live, and it's good to be proud of your differentness.
I agree with what the girl said, but I would like to add that two biggest issues I think are education and lack of adjustment. Because nowadays there's like a huge group of immigrants who take into account all the economical factors, especially social welfare, and they don't even make efforts to read about the culture of the country they are going to. And for example, I spent last 5 months in Egypt, and okay, I had to accept that there is Ramadan and I can't drink all day. Okay, I'm aware of it, so I'm going to that country and I'm aware that I will have to adhere to the rules. But if somebody can accept the rules from the country he's going to, he just shouldn't go there just because he can earn more. And, like, I think that's the main problem.
Adrian.
Okay, first to Paulina, right? I think sometimes it's hard about the education thing. They say if you are in a place where you're not welcome so much to keep continuing like studies and I don't know if I don't. Well, as I told you, this is an old problem. But if you feel that you are not welcome, if people are criticizing you, you don't really feel like staying in school and being with the other people. That's why they are making their own communities. So that's why I think we need more projects with each other. It's not only to see on TV how they are and how they, but there's not something about us and something about together. I think that is what is missing. And I wanted to tell you some example of projects for all of you, as many people haven't heard of them. For example, there's every year in Wrocław the Human Library. I don't know if you heard of it. And it's in Mediateca. And basically they are inviting all types of minorities, gays, poor people, homeless, gypsies, anyone. And you can rent them as a book for 10-15 minutes and ask anything you want about them. And I think it's an amazing project. And it happens it happened already this year. I think well, not 2015, 2012. Yeah?
Oh yeah, 2012.
Yeah, so this year will be again, I'm not sure exactly when, but pay attention. I think it's, if you have any questions, they are there for you. I mean, they volunteered to be there, answer anything you want to know about them. And I think it's a great project. Another one is Football Against Racism. And once again, they try to make a lot of minorities, and you can go and play football with them. It seems something very simple, but I think we should start this way. And something else. For example, other things. Here in Poland, I think there's a bit of a problem still with black people. And I'm not criticizing Poland, it's just the way things are in history. For example, in Portugal, we had a lot of Portuguese colonies in Africa. And growing up with black people for us is something completely normal. There's always, I cannot say there's anyone that doesn't know a black person. There's so normal to see a black person in your school, in your neighborhood. It's something that they are Portuguese already. There's history on that, so we are used to them. And you didn't have any black colonies, of course, so it's not so common to see. So it's easier to exclude something that you are not used to, something that you see for the first time. And in Portugal, another thing, well, there are good things about some countries. I talk about Portugal because that's where I'm from. There is in every company, I think, 1 or 2 positions for disabled. I mean, if a disabled person would apply for that, they have the right over the other people to get that job. And I think other countries, I don't know how it is here and in Italy and other countries, but I think we should try to include them as well in those little things. for them to see, hey, they are trying to do something for us, maybe we should try to do something for them as well. I don't know if it makes much sense. And about media, I didn't mean only TV. There's newspapers and something. Probably on the TV they wouldn't talk about the robbery of the wallet, but on the newspaper you would probably hear it or hear it from people on the street. I think that's all. Yeah.
Anya.
French, and she had black skin, and during our conversation I invited her to train at Café, and she asked me, do you have black people? I thought, yes, sometimes we have black people, kind of five persons per day, so she told me, no, I will not come. And I asked her why you don't want to come to see another country, and she told me that she found herself very bad when she can't see another black people around, when she can't see the culture around. So I think this example can prove that we can't enjoy racism in general. That racism is something what is natural between other countries and other cultures, other races. So it's very, very natural between and it's very natural between other religions. Because they are another and we are another, and it makes problems. That it's just opposite from this, and it will exist all the time. And also it was really what Adrian said, that you don't have so many black people in Poland. I was so surprised when I was on 4-day in Warsaw, capital city, and I saw two tourists, black tourists with black backpacks on the back bus station. That's it. So even well, Ukraine is not so good. We don't have a big history connected with African people, something like that. Something very similar to Polish history, but we have much more black people in our country, in different parts of our country. And also some guys who want to be politicians. So the situation like that, Ukraine is considered to be not so rich country, right? But maybe the case that they come because something else in another culture maybe. When they come there, they want to study there, and later they want to stay there. I don't know, maybe it's kind of question to Polish people, how do you teach why black people don't come to Poland, why they don't want to come to Poland. Maybe it's, well, I'm not sure about my question if it's in general, but I can't see so many black people or even Chinese people. I can't see this, I mean, this racism, maybe they don't feel well here, and why they don't come. Well, I'm from the capital city, and to tell you the truth, and sometimes university finishes, and you go somewhere in the city center, you see the gates, and I can't see it. That's my question, maybe I'm wrong.
In which sense in central Turkey?
No, just in general. I mean, in each time that there are so many people from other countries, as people in Ukraine, not just in the capital city or the cities. Keep yourself, I don't know, like this globalization. I can say that we are tolerant of these minorities. We are not so surprised to see someone black, for example, that we try to politicians. And I think it's beautiful to accept other races to culture. And just a case of acceptance of human rights or
Okay, I will say something in connection to what was said before I left. So I wanted to say something in connection to what Paulina said and what Andrea said. About the media, we should be careful to judge what we hear and what we see on TV because it's a very useful means to manipulate people. So if someone wants to convince us that, for example, gypsies are bad, then they show us the examples of their bad behavior, for example. And the other one is about the living library. So I had the chance to talk to a gypsy girl last year, and she told me a lot of interesting things, like, for example, about that the culture is closed. What Paulina said that, yes, I think it's, that they are separate from us, and that they separate themselves by their will, if they want to separate themselves. And in their culture there are rules which do not allow for too many contacts with people who are not gypsies. So if they, for example, get into a relationship with a woman, for example, if a gypsy man gets into a relationship with a woman that is not a gypsy, then he's considered, I don't know how to call it in English, maybe. No, it's like outcast. So yes, something like this, and that is the reason why they are excluded, because they just do not accept people who are not gypsies, but the moral code of their society. And there is one gypsy poet, Tapusha, I don't know whether you heard about her, and she in the 60s or 70s she revealed some secrets of the gypsy culture in her poems that were translated into Polish, and she was excluded from her society. She was not accepted by gypsies anymore, and she died poor and without anyone's love. So that is the reason why they're considered as closed society, because they just are like this. This is the way they are shaped as a society. And another thing that they didn't come here just because they chose this country. Yes, they chose this country, but now they are part of it because they decided to live here, and some of them lived here for generations. So it's not like they're in another country, because this is their home.
Alvaro 1.
Countries, nation, raza, race. I don't believe in this. First. Second, I was working with gypsies here. Came a daughter yesterday. I was working with gypsies, and they're very nice. The thing is not that they are bad people because they don't matter in our society. Maybe it's because our society is a thing, the society or the culture of the gypsies are they are very proud of them, and proud of the people. They take care a lot about the human people, and not about the money, like us. So I think it's like like be a squatter. Squatter and gypsy for me is the same. They are totally margins from the system, but they are good people. Second, you say that the gypsy people don't want to study in the university. The first year I was here and I had my salary before I was working in the political rights. I need to pay for one guy who wants to go into the university. It's called Alba. That is my name. And I was like, and the problem is that the father wants that he works because the father don't have money, and when the sons are more or less strong, 16 years or 15, they need to work for the family. They don't have money most of the time because when the old guy died, the old guy doesn't work, that's all. And I need to pay for the family that they can just because if not, he needs to work. That's all. That is not something that they don't want to do. They don't want to study. Sometimes it's because they don't have money, or maybe because the fathers say we need to take care about our family, and that's all. No, for sure not all. I only know one, and I need to pay him for going to the lesson, and it's a so it's not something bad. Another thing, you say, no, I just want to say something because you say that the Polish people don't have very good, they are not popular, but in Spain we say about the Polish people very good reputation, and we call you the Latins of the East. So I just want to say this because if you think that the Polish people have a reputation in the world, it's not.
Someone said about the media create the situation. I don't think so. Of course, yes, but not in our cases. For example, I have experience with that. You have experience with. I mean, about the gypsies. You have a different experience. You have different experience. I have different experience. That's all. This is not a point to say that they are good because of that. They are bad because of that. Yes. The problem is that we have different experiences, and that's all. We can solve it. But there is some in this topic. For example, why so often we talk about the gypsies and nobody moved the topic about, for example, the Asians? Who has a problem with the Asians? No one. As I say, maybe you have some problems. Just talk about it. So there is some problem. There is some problem, and it's worth to discuss about it. It's worth to look in for solutions. To try to solve it. Change our point of view. I like your example about these Polish guys who coming on the street to you and hey, give me money, give me money. That's true. I hate them. Always I want to say, go to the work, idiot. Yes, I really hate it. So this is not a problem with the minority. The idiot you can meet everywhere. Yes. And also, I think about why we should treat special the minority. Minorities are a guest in our country. If I go to another country, I'm a guest. Yes. Why I should expect that someone help me? Why I should be special treated because I'm a minority? No, this is the rules. This is the different country. This is the simple thing. I'm going there. I live there. Speak with them in their language. I try to learn it, for example, and I try to live with their rules. I don't want to be the special treat because I'm Polish and I'm so poor in England. Yes, no, not this way. And I try to change one thing. Someone said that. You have a bad experience with some minority, so it can be influenced on law. Yes, that's true. So, but this is also true that if you have a good experience with some minority, you can't think that all the nations, for example, are good. So this is not the point. Someone has a good experience, a bad experience, and influence it on the nation. Yes. And this is all. the example is that one gypsy is playing a guitar or piano, singing very nice. Doesn't mean that all of them are good. Does it mean that one Polish guy will never hit you or steal you? Does it not mean that you never find the guy who stole you? That's all. It's very hard to find a general rule.
Jean-Marc.
Yes, I finished.
Jean-Marc.
I think this is mostly related to integration. Something to be taken into account is also actually the possibilities that might be placed.
Just a minute. I think they don't hear you.
So for example, when we are talking about before, like, I will try to give you an example. African people living in Europe. This is a minority, like it could be a minority Polish people living in Spain or in England. But there are a lot of differences. I mean, sometimes they are not integrated, some minorities, because they simply cannot have access to the system as you do the permit, the possibility to live here. They cannot have a regular job as you can. For example, Poland joined the European Union in 2004. And when I was a kid, Polish people living in Italy, they were doing the jobs that people living there were not willing to do. Nowadays, this is European Union, it is possible for you guys to go wherever. So don't forget that was the situation for example, Polish people in the 90s. Because now, so African people, why they don't want to go to Poland? Why they don't want? They first, can they come to Europe? I mean, if I was born in Mozambique, I think no matter the fact that I don't have money, possibly I think that from a bureaucratic perspective, it is pretty difficult to. So why they don't come? Because they can. I mean, now we are traveling a lot within Europe. We assume that we can go wherever. It's like if I'm going to US. So first of all, these things have to be taken into account because it's not why they don't work. Because who's hiring somebody with no visa, and why they are by themselves? Why they don't integrate with people? Which girl, which man is willing to get in touch on seriously with? So that in my case, if I'm a minority in Poland, but as you said before, it is easier for me to meet people from here. So it's not because Italians are better, it's because for Italians it's easier in Poland than for Africans in Italy, than for many in Italy. I'm a minority, so I'm not a minority, but I'm an Italian in Poland. A Romanian in Italy has a lot of inconvenience. Yeah, so this is like we should. It's not because of the culture or because of the ethnics. This is also because of the traditions. I was live for a Polish man or woman in Italy and Spain in 2001. So they were supervisors, team leaders in companies, or they were. So Africans they don't come because they can. They try which jobs they can get, of course there are exceptions, but in this kind of people coming from those countries, they saw that if they come from rich families, they can come through expensive program. I think that it is possible. Rich people can always find a way, but a normal guy from Algeria, it's not because some countries, people coming from some countries are better or more hard workers than others. Because it is easier. And countries have short memories because stereotypes, which is the difference. This is in my opinion, gypsies or abuse stereotypes. For example, the stereotype that there could have been towards Polish people in German villages, stealers, whatever, which is the difference between the perception that Polish people have nowadays about gypsies and the perception that Germans have towards Polish behavior. So we forgot a lot of things because now in Poland's situation is good, the people are trying to defend the thing, but like in Italy there is racism widespread, I think, but Italians were immigrants. At the beginning of the 20th century they were going to US, a lot of issues. Now they forgot. Now then they got richer after Second World War. People started to come. So because people were going to Italy. People say prefer Poland. It is very. They enjoy the European life. Recently, before 10, 15 years ago, it's very difficult to go to Berlin, which is 300 kilometers. Yeah. Gypsies. Gypsy. This is also in Italy. A lot of people are talking about this, but to be afraid of gypsies, this is something like elderly people. Elder people are afraid of, also of young guys with long hair and rust. It's like this. It's like if, for example, there is a John Smith afraid of gypsies. My opinion, it doesn't make any sense. There is a Adams Smith afraid of people with piercings and tattoos. For somebody, this is a matter of perception. For you who are afraid of gypsies, to be afraid of somebody because of rasta, it doesn't make any sense. Like for me, it doesn't make any sense to be afraid of gypsies. It is a matter of perception for me. We cannot generalize our personal opinions on this matter because it's a matter of remember where do we come from and our history, recent history, Poland, Italy. We were emigrants and we were facing those issues. Now countries got richer, people are coming. We treat them the same way that we have been treated somewhere else with no reasons, basically. This is this stereotype, I mean, from the stereotype, pure stereotype to the prejudice, then to the racist fact, it's a short gap. We have to be careful because the violence, the final violent act comes from the penal stereotype, which turned into a prejudice. Very sensitive. The topic, among the topics we're voting for this is that because I'm hearing things. We need to be careful from the standard. It's not a long way to the gypsy, whatever. Because when I was a kid, they slapped me. The guy who then get to the violent act possibly was slapped. Who knows? It can be. I mean, the origin of racism can come from something pretty simple. I think so. We should think about this. Excuse me.
You spoke just once, so it was long enough.
Okay, so
no. I mean, for a total of time, you haven't talked.
When I was waiting for my turn, I was thinking it was going to turn for 15 seconds. Then
it has been something like 5 minutes.
Go ahead.
First, maybe you already explained why they are not going to university as they could, because there is this model of the post-modern society, and even if they are smart, very smart, like the oldest son is very smart and he wants to learn, he wants to study at the university, if the father says, no, you can't, then he can't. And also there is this thing that no more than one person in the family is going to study. If they decide that, for example, he is very bright and we think he should study, and maybe he will be, it will be useful for the family future. They send one son, usually it's the eldest son, to the university, and his university actually studies. And for example, women can't study. They are not allowed. So it's not like just don't want to. They just can't because of their culture. And also about the races and Asians. There are many Asians in Wrocław and generally in Poland. They are mainly Koreans because Chinese Koreans come to, for example, to Poznań. In Poznań there are many Koreans. They come to medical study free, and you can borrow books free, and you can talk to people there and so on. It's not like they are not here at all. Also, I don't think that racism is something natural, because, for example, if you go, we've been to China last week, Beijing, and we were talking to Chinese people, and there was some research done in this field, and they were asked about how do they feel about different races, and surprisingly they said that most of them would like to be white. They don't really like to be Asian, but they would like to be white. So it's not like it doesn't matter. They have sort of complex, I think, but I think we are better, and I don't think that it's just that we for example, in Poland, we were always taught that we are this special nation, the chosen nation, Mickiewicz and so on. No, and we are the martyrs of Europe, and we're always the one who were beaten, and everybody is very bad, and we are the only one that's good, and so on. So we had this Krzyżacy, the Germans were all. So we perceive ourselves as someone better, as people who are better, and we are special. So maybe that's why we are also very close. We don't like, just in general, we don't like black people. We don't like. I'm sorry for not saying the African American thing, but black people.
Well, not all black people are African American.
Yeah, but
I think that black people is the right word.
So and then also I think that when we come to another country, we would like to be treated specially. If you go to China, you are treated specially. You are people there were a little bit afraid of us actually, and the fact that we speak English, and the fact that we travel around Asia, because they, for example, if they told us that if there were that the fact that there were two white women traveling around China, they thought us to be courageous, like wow, it's something special. We are very nice people. And if they said that if there were two Chinese girls or Asian girls doing the same, they would say, they can't find themselves a husband. Yeah? So, so I think that.
Paulina.
Sorry, I must go, so thank you everybody for everything, making this discussion, yes, and so on. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to ask about I wanted to ask Marco about the stereotypes in the 80s of Poland. The stereotype that Germans had in the 80s about Polish people. Maybe because they have reasons. Because we were Steelers, and they supposed to be scared of us as Steelers because they had a reason, and now we can have a reason. Now they don't have a reason because more Steelers are from France. In German cars, I mean about German cars. In the past, Polish people were in the ratings. Now more Steelers are from France. Now we have reasons about gypsies. The second thing is question to audience. How do you mean that black people are excluded in Poland? And another thing is that first we've got black politics in Poland. Secondly, you had a question about why we have not so much black people as we have. I think, as Marco said, that because of harder to get permission to stay in Poland or harder to get a visa. Now we had a more strict law because of this Schengen zone. Maybe because of that. And another thing that in my small hometown, I'm not from Wrocław, it's a really small town. And we've got like a lot of Koreans, a lot of Vietnamese. So sometimes in some parts of this town, it's not even easier to find somebody from Asia than from Poland. And another question is to Álvaro. Are you from Spain? Is it possible that we as Polish people have such a good reputation? We are so friend nation when we are a good friend nation Spain and friend nation, as I've heard, with Portuguese. And I've heard there is a fight between Spain and
Portuguese? Want to fight with me?
No, I bet that we are seeing that we've got a good reputation in why we've got a good reputation when we have a good reputation in Portugal and in Spain, and Portugal and Spain hate each other.
Portugal, the reputation of Polish people in fat and in Spain is good.
We've got a good reputation in Portugal and good in Spain. But Spain and Portugal hate each other.
Okay, please don't start the discussion between you. So you had a question, and after Álvaro you will answer. I put you down. Okay. Are you finished? Or okay, Kasia. That's why I told you to write it down.
Yeah. So first of all, I wanted to say that I agree with you completely. I agree that actually there's a lot of points. I mean you. Yeah. And I met a lot of people who wanted to come to Poland, but there was a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of paper stuff that they actually couldn't. And mostly they were Asian people. I also been to China for 1 month and a half, and well, I met a lot of Chinese, and they were saying to me a lot of stuff even about Poland. They knew like a lot of stuff about Poland and Europe, and they said, well, they really dream about coming here, but they are not able to come because of money, because of visas, and because of a lot of stuff. And the same is about Africa. They have like more or less the same situation like Asian people and African people. They really want to come, but they cannot. And I met one guy from Morocco, and he also really wanted to go, so he decided to make a deal with one Austrian girl that they will get married, and he will get the citizenship of
Europe.
Yeah. So they're really trying in any way to come and to get a better job here and better life. But you know, there is like very little people who can do that. He had the money for that, so he could make a deal. But 99% of people, they cannot do that. So maybe that's why it's not so many here. But there's a lot of Asian anyway, and I'm a volunteer at the university and I'm taking care of some Asians, and they really find themselves here really well. They speak very good Polish, and they will want to start their university and so on, but they have money for that, and their parents, they have something to do with the politics and so on. So yeah, so they are able to do it because of their parents. And other thing that I want to say, yeah, it's about like special treatments for minorities and for black people, for example. Like a couple of years ago, for example, in America, if there was two people who wanted to get a job, and there was a black man and white man, always the job gets the black man, because the boss was afraid that, you know, someone will tell him, oh, you are the racist, and I didn't get the job because I'm black. So all the black people were getting the jobs instead white. A couple of years later, it changed, and if there was a white person and a black person, the white person get the job, because he was like feeling, oh, I'm with a black person, I have no chance because he's black, he will get the job. So then it changed, and the white people were getting the job. And for me, it's getting so ridiculous, like how that happened, that I'm afraid of what color I am and with what person, what color will I would have to, you know, like competition for getting the job. Like, just please read my CV to what I can do instead look at me, you know. So in that case, I think the best it would be get the job from the blind person. That would be the best, I think, or the easiest, probably. And yeah, so I think it's just ridiculous. And what else? Coming back to the gypsies, we all the time discuss if they are bad or good, what we heard, that we heard the bad things or good things. I think it's not about, you know, like discuss if they are good or if they are bad. Like, how can we say, like, if Polish are good or Polish are bad, or Germans are good or Germans are bad? It's not about that, because of course we cannot generalizing and cannot say there are some nationalities are good or if they are bad. And for example, like in the past, as we know, the Germans started the Second World War, and I think nobody nowadays thinks that Germans are, I don't know, the killers or something like that. They are very welcome to Poland, and I don't think there's a problem with them, and we are fine with it. So I don't think we should also think about Polish that they are stealers, or the Gypsies they are stealers, or the Germans they are killers, because of course it was in the past, for example, or we cannot generalize it.
Okay, some little variation for the final. Well, it's not exactly the final, because at 9 o'clock we book a table for dinner, so you're everybody welcome to eat something together. Even if you don't want to eat nothing, you can stay with us and go on with a free conversation like that. We will go downstairs. We have 20 places, so with people that left, there is space for everybody. So if you want to stay, you just come in. But now, of course, we have to be downstairs at 9 o'clock, so we have 10 minutes. And I still have 4 people that have to speak, so I will stop you after something like 2-3 minutes, okay? And after, if you have other things to do, there is the free conversation downstairs. You can say everything you want. So, now I have Adrian, but as you introduced the argument, you must be the last one. You must be the last one to conclude everything, so I will put you at the end.
This one that I want to say is very fast, so I can conclude it as well. Can I speak now and at the end?
Well, we still have just 4 persons for 9 minutes. Can you just take one event to the end? Thank you, excuse me. Anya?
I wanted to say about Asian, someone asking if you have problems with Asian people.
Excuse me, one moment. I took off Michał. It was Michał. Excuse me. It's late.
It's not true that the quality is so small. In general, I think that very often we are feeling that Poland is xenophobic and Catholic country, and it's also a very big stereotype because this country is changing very quickly, and we have. And now I want to give a proof about this change. For example, the people in Poland. I think that Poland is. Not more racist than Lila, for example. We don't have historical relation about colonialism. Colonialism in Poland doesn't exist. This phenomenon doesn't exist, and for this reason we are less racist than, for example, Italy. They have our colonies in Africa. But another example. For example, in Poland was under communistic influence. It was one thing which was positive. We collaborate, we have the exchange programs for students, for African students, and they can study in Polish city and Polish university. For this reason, we have now a lot of Greek doctors and engineers in Poland, and they are working and living here for 20 and 25 years. And for example, my personal experience, my mother has a doctor of gynecology doctor, and she's Indian, and she's living here for 20 years. He have also he married not Polish but also Indian man, but she speaks very good Polish, and also she's writing and publishing in Poland books about also in Polish language. It's nice. It's positive. Another example of this. Now we have in Poland the first time in our story back parliamentary member. He win the last election. He's from Platforma Obywatelska, platform and he won in normal way election. He was voted by Polish people. Where is the racism? When we have racism, it will never become a member of Polish parliament. Another example, we have the first time in Polish history official gay member of parliament. His name is Biedron. And we also we have transsexual. We can have in these days when we decide the first time in our story vice-president of parliament. It will be the transsexual person. And it's amazing changing. It's amazing. I mean, in my opinion, this country is changing, and this good direction. And also, it will be example about this country. And when we are speaking about racism in Poland, I can give this example. We are. I want to see, or you can give an example in which country now we have gay, transsexual, and black member of parliament. No in Italy, no in Germany, no in Sweden, no in Spain, no in Portugal. It's nice, I think.
We still have 5 minutes, so be very, very fast.
So I have answered you that I was wrong, that it was lack of knowledge, and I watched TV and papers, and so I should assume that in Poland there is a much more better situation than in Ukraine, because in Ukraine that politicians just try. It's not in parliament. We don't have any transsexuals, no gays, no lesbians, no one is transsexual. We just have all the Red Cross and that's it. And so I was wrong. Thank you that you proved that you have really a lot of people who feel good. Really, it's one thing that makes people feel proud to think about problems with Asian people. Normally we don't, but as I work a lot with some Korean and Japanese people, sometimes I do have problems because of difference in cultures. And these are the first people who complain that I'm rude and impolite person, because in comparison with Japanese culture, I should do something else. So they are first people who told me that I'm impolite and I should be better. So first people, maybe I thanks them, maybe I changed my mind, and now I should maybe change something with myself or whatever. And he told that Asian want to be white, and that racism is not natural. So if racism is not a natural thing between people, so why they don't care about their nationality? Why they want to be white? So maybe they feel themselves very uncomfortable. Maybe it's, I don't know, sort of Russian.
After the free discussion, we'll discuss about everything, but
that's it.
Ingrid.
I want to say something quick about relationships. I think in Europe we have different situations. There are some countries in Western Europe who have post-colonial syndrome, and this is something that doesn't exist in Poland because we have no colonies. So if you refer to the language, you see the difference about how people can see the foreigners and what happens in countries that have colonies. So of course, having this kind of syndrome can lead to some problems that the country will be afraid to say something against some foreigners. I mean, because some are too good, some are just there to prevent each other country. And the risk is it can lead to frustration and nationalism. So the media sometimes want to talk about this problem, but by not talking about it, in my opinion, it doesn't make anything better. There is a kind of taboo about this immigration problem, and also very often people mix immigration problem and racism that are actually two different things, in my opinion. And holes are also complicated.
We have 30 seconds for Alvaro to answer the question of Paulina. And after
it will be my last point of my discussion, so we can take it from there.
Okay, 30 seconds for you, and after the conclusion.
Because I don't fit him.
I would say you can be more wrong than what you say.
As the police has problems, problems, like something with Germans, we have no problems with French. Second, they don't want to be white, they want to be rich. That is the meaning of white, that's all.
Thank you. The conclusion.
Okay. So first, to answer to your first question that you answered me before, some examples why I thought. Well, first, I'm very thankful that you mentioned the trees of the Parliament because I had no idea. But I have some examples that happened to close friends of mine in Wrocław. For example, looking for a flat. Just the fact that when they were calling, you don't know if it's black or gypsy or whatever. When the person saw it, they said, sorry. And I knew that the motive was because it was a different person. Like when they were calling, say, yeah, it's free, you can come tomorrow, and then they see the person is like, it's already rented. And this is one example. Other example, I know they are different kind of people, if I could say that, is when you have those nationalists, march, Nazis, something in the city. I was walking with him and the police had to come around him and surround him because everybody wanted to beat him just because he was black. And two other examples of a Chinese friend of mine that he's actually English, his parents are Chinese looking, I would say. And 2 times we were coming out of the bar and out of nothing, somebody comes and punches him, just because, no reason, just hello, And that's what I meant of some problems still in accepting black people and other people here. And I wanted to answer to Pavel because I was quite surprised when he said that we cannot fix it. It's just like it was, like it is. So shall we just give up and not do these meetings, and that there's no point on discussing? And I think, well, maybe we cannot fix it totally, or maybe it will take time, but I don't think we should give up or just accept the things the way they are. And he also mentioned about treating them specially or saying they are good or bad. That was not my point. My point is to understand and to tolerate, and that we should have all the same rights. They should respect us, and we should respect them. It's not a matter of they are better or they are worse, and it's just understanding between each other. And also I wanted to say that in Portugal we think that Polish are very hard workers. So you also have a good view. I mean, we have worse view of Ukrainian. I have no idea why, but when something disappears, it's always the Ukrainians, not the gypsies, actually. I don't know why. It's not me, not personally me, but if you hear the old people, when something disappears, it was the Ukrainians. And yeah, I wanted to ask Pavel also if he has any time tried to go away, to move to another country, because I don't know if he did or not, but it's really different if you go there and you are the minority yourself. I mean, you are in a different country, and then you start to see things differently than if you always lived in your own country and you see things as the majority. And for the final, well, before concluding, as I told you, couldn't be more wrong about Portuguese and Spanish.
Yeah, I know a lot of Portuguese people who told me that there is quite a history.
Yeah, I also heard.
Well, in the history, like for example, when I travel away, the best people I feel like I was at home or something is with Spanish. If we connect,
no, Portuguese.
No, I mean in Portuguese as well, but it's not so easy to find Portuguese as it is to find Spanish abroad. Well, we are a smaller country as well. But I don't have absolutely no problem with Spanish, and I would tell you almost all. We might have some discussions, for example, if Spanish come to Portugal, they will not speak Portuguese, and if we go to Spain, we speak Spanish. But that's not the thing that we hate each other. It's just something like it is. Like French, they don't speak English. Sorry for the stereotype, but you know, I don't think you are right at all.
Yeah, that's
we kind of think we are still the same country, more or less. I mean, the same.
Can you conclude?
Yeah. So thank you very much for this meeting. It was really helpful, and I really liked all the opinions. I just hope there wouldn't be so many of the same people speaking. I hope the next time this group would speak a bit more rather than that area. And there's no need to be shy. Just we are all among friends, and thank you very much. And yeah, I don't know if you want to do something.
Yeah, I have just a few things to say. Of course, I have to thank you all. And we discovered that our philosophical cafe are the first one in Poland. We never had philosophical cafe in Poland before us. So it's a little historical stuff or something, because we have a lot of historical cafe in Germany, France, it's born in France, and in Italy and stuff like that. We started here like, why not? And after we discovered, searching on the net and stuff, and contacts with cinema Nowe Horyzonty, that nobody never done a philosophical cafe in Poland before us. So it's just news. And of course, I invite you, everybody downstairs, to a free discussion. And I say for dinner because I eat, I'm Italian, at these moments I eat. And if you don't want to eat, you don't have to eat. It's just staying together and going on with the discussion, with everything that you have not the time to say and you still want to say to each other. So see you downstairs. Thank you.